What up, Kings? Programmatic King here. Hope you're well. In this video, I want to talk about a subject that a lot of people like to skirt around or avoid. That's the whole point of this channel, to cover the topics that people tend to avoid in this ad business, because the ad business, believe it or not, it actually influences culture to some extent. And also, inversely, culture affects the ad business. So what we're seeing right now is a massive culture shift. Specifically in this video, I want to talk about how a team dynamic in a brand or an agency can ruin a good brand or a good agency. Most of the time when you see a brand failing or an agency going out of business, it is usually 9 times out of 10 is the people. The people are probably very toxic. So by the time you're seeing a brand collapsing or a brand making stupid mistakes in an ad campaign, you better believe it is because the sane people have left the room. The grown-ups have left the room. It's always the case. As somebody that has been in the ad business for over 15 years, I have learned to recognize patterns. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. It's a funny thing about life. You will get to the point where you recognize so many patterns that it becomes impossible for you to ignore some of these patterns because you know exactly what they lead to. And it's very difficult for somebody who's new in the ad business to know what I'm talking about until you've been on a sinking ship. Whenever you see something not going right in the agency that you work at or the brand that you work at, it's almost always the person at the top that you need to pay attention to first. The person at the top always dictates the culture of the organization, all the way down to the janitor, all the way down to the lowest man in the organization, lowest man or woman in the organization. So if you find yourself in a very toxic work environment, chances are the person at the top is also very toxic. The good guys always get burnt. They always get used up, abused, get taken advantage of. So when you do come across agencies and brands that treat you like a human being, it's very rare and it's quite refreshing. And that I've had a few of those in the past. And I'm truly grateful for some of those experiences because those are experiences that have actually made really good, genuine connections. Imagine, like in 15 years, I don't have that many connections, and that's for a reason, because once you open yourself up, you're opening yourself up to a world of hurt. What has happened in the corporate culture is quite sad because people like to ruin good things. People like to ruin good people. It's just the nature of human beings. It's a challenge every single day for any agency owner to keep that culture in check. And the ones that manage to keep that culture in check are very rare. I remember one time I had a job interview and I got to meet the owner. This was like after so many years. I was like, what? I've never met the owner before in any other agency I've worked at. It's not that the owner doesn't have time out of their busy schedule for a 30-minute interview with a new employee. That's not it. If you are running an organization and you're the owner, you're at the top, and your agency is not that massive. Let's say your agency is about 50 people. What's wrong with meeting the new hire for 30 minutes? Because what that will do, it'll create like a very good impression. You as the employer also have to make a good impression on that employee. And that owner made a really good impression on me. And to this day, I've got much respect for him because he took 30 minutes out of his time. And I wasn't like a media director or anything major like that. I was just the activation guy, the ad ops guy. It reminds me of a funny incident that happened to me at one company I worked at. And of course, we don't mention names over here. It's a pretty big organization. Needless to say, they're out of business now because everything that they were doing, in hindsight, was leading up to their demise. And I remember there was this funny guy. He ended up going to work for Google. Brilliant guy, really, really funny guy. Every lunch break, he would constantly be complaining. And I used to wonder, why is this guy complaining so much? Why? I didn't realize that this guy's IQ was really high, that he could sniff out the BS that was happening. But some of us, because we were so desperate for work, listen, when you're at the bottom, when you're struggling, you put up with a lot of BS, I realized. Like, when your pockets are light, you put up a lot of BS that you don't have to put up with anymore. Nowadays, I don't put up with any BS. To the point where I can be on a phone conversation with somebody. I don't care if you're the owner, I'm going to give it to you straight. The reason why I'm going to give it to you straight is because it sets the tone for our relationship. If you don't like my candor, then it means that you're not going to like me as a person. So we don't need to be having a fake relationship. If I lie to myself, then I'm doing myself a disservice. If I lie to myself and pretend that I like somebody I don't like, it's gonna hurt me. I won't be able to go to sleep at night knowing that I don't like you and then I have to pretend around you. I can't do that anymore. But we all have to go through this sometimes. Anyway, I had to put up with so much BS. I forgot that I was being mistreated at this job. I didn't even realize that I had accepted so much BS that I normalized the BS. But this guy had options. Remember, he ended up working at Google. So he knew he had options. I remember, I'll never forget what he told me. He said to me, "What is this? We are trapped." I'll never forget. He said, "We are trapped here. We can't get out." I laughed for like a week after he said that, because he would say something that is so true. You see, the truth is funny sometimes. And sometimes the truth comes off as very offensive. We were trapped in this place that we hated being. Recently, I had a recruiter calling me. Because sometimes recruiters hit me up on LinkedIn, and even though the job market right now sucks in ad business, it completely sucks. I get it. It doesn't mean that there is no work out there. There's plenty of work out there. The difference is the employers now have quite a bit of leverage. But you know who's got more leverage than the employers? The best talent has more leverage than the employers. Let me explain to you why. If you are in a job market that sucks, it means that you're going to have a lot of candidates in the job market looking for work. 50% of these candidates are not really good. And then there'll be another maybe 40% that is good, but they don't know how to market themselves to these employers. Because remember something, a lot of these guys that are employers, they're not much smarter than me and you. The reason why they're looking to hire is because you are the expert. They're just the decision maker. A decision maker is not necessarily an expert in the field that they're hiring, by the way. That's why they're looking to hire. When you look at the top talent, it's kind of like a dating market. The Chads, the Tyrones, the tall, six-pack, six-figures dudes, they get all the girls. That's what it's like in the dating apps. It's the same thing in the job market. The really leveled up talent, the ones that are confident, those guys are getting all the DMs right now. So I get a lot of DMs from recruiters. So I know that these employers are looking to hire, but I give them a hard time. I give them a hard time because they're looking to get guys like me who are really good at what they do. They're looking to get us for cheap. So I'm going to make you sweat because I know what I'm good at. If you don't hire me, fine. You're going to get somebody who's not as good as I am. But in this economy, you can't beat me. You're going to have to compete with a guy like this. Good luck with that. So this recruiter hit me up. They said they're looking to hire for a director of programmatic. And I said, okay, great. Okay, tell me more about this job opportunity. And they started talking fast, over-talking me. Usually that's a red flag right there. When a recruiter starts over-talking you and they're throwing big numbers at you as far as salary, that's a major red flag. So she was like, I got this job. It's a great employer. They're paying $120,000 a year. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, fine. Money is not the issue for me. I don't care about the $120,000. You know what I care about? I care about freedom. Freedom is more important to me than the $120,000. Long story short, she proceeded to tell me that, by the way, we know that you're in Georgia. You're based out of Georgia, which is where I'm based out of. and other places. I live in Georgia. Yes, that's one of my base. But also I live in Africa. I live in a tropical island in Zanzibar as well, okay, because I can. So she said, oh, and we'll pay for your relocation to Tennessee. I'm like, what? What do you mean you'll pay for my relocation to Tennessee? And then she said, well, the employer wants you to be in office 1 day out of 5. I'm like, excuse me, do you understand what year we're in? I said, we're in 2025 almost, right? We're almost in 2025. I've been working remotely for 5-6 years now, going on 6 years. Why the F do you expect me to give up my freedom to commute to your office and be controlled by a corporation? It's not happening. It's not happening. Hell no. I know it sounds very arrogant for me to say this. I know it sounds very cocky for me to say this. But let me tell you something. Once you start to compromise on your values, it's over for you. And a lot of people you're going to come across in life are going to want you to compromise on your values. A lot of brands are compromising on their values. And they've been compromising on their values for a long time. A lot of agencies have been compromising on their values for a long time. And some still are compromising on their values. Taking on clients they shouldn't be taking on just because they need the money, because they got to pay for that debt they incurred. It's a very dangerous position to be in, especially when the economy is getting rough out here. You can no longer accept anything. And this is what happens in most companies, is that the team dynamics becomes just a group of people that are busy compromising. I can't compromise on my freedom, but there are a bunch of people, a collection of people that call themselves agencies, that call themselves a company or brand, that is just a collection of people that are compromising on their values. It never lasts. It never leads to anything. This comes after years of pattern recognition. If you are a brand that does not compromise on your values, and you are not willing to compromise on your values, then let's talk. Because here at Programmatic Kings, we don't compromise on our values. We're all about delivering real value. We focus on results. We're not all about taking a fat salary so we can sit around and wait for PTO. That's not what we do here. So if you're ready to work with a team of 3, just 3 of us, and we can manage a lot of money, by the way, and we can make you very happy. If you're ready to work with a team of Programmatic Kings, that we can help you with strategy. You give us a budget, we figure out media plan for you and how we're going to spend that money as efficiently as possible. We select what DSP makes sense for your campaigns. There are plenty of DSPs out there. Some are trash, some are good. We focus on creative tagging. With AI now, creative tagging has become so much easier. If you use CM360, Campaign Manager 360, we can help you with that as well. We can tag all that creative, easy peasy. If you want brand new banner ads created, we can do that as well. You don't have to use a separate creative agency to deal with setting up creative. That's a massive headache. You don't have to deal with that. We use AI to do all of that. All we got to do is just approve the ads. We activate them. Next, we go into platform. Yes, go into platform and actually activate those campaigns for you. I micromanage everything. I take really good care of myself. So I'm going to take good care of your campaigns. So if you're interested in all the things that I've mentioned above, you want to work with the best in the business, let's talk. Schedule time. I'll put a link in the description of this video, and let me help you solve your problems.